Welcome into an all-new episode of the JMU Softball Coaches Show with head coach Mickey Dean. Coach, the win streak extended to 20 with a huge two comeback wins at Hofstra last week as your team now sits at 8-0 in conference. Talk about the importance of that trip and how you plan to move forward with your team.
Well, Hofstra is one of the top teams in the conference, one of the top teams in the country. And I thought throughout the day we battled. We had to come from behind in both games, and they're not an easy team to do that with. Their pitching staff's very good. They don't strike out a lot, so I thought our pitchers did a good job there. And then, of course, we made some great defensive plays. But it's two big wins on the road. Anytime you can win in conference on the road is a big win, and to go there and have two come from behind wins is a big day.
In Game 2, your team fell behind. And then they get three back in the third. And then they load the bases quickly in the seventh, and then a couple of forced outs at home. You guys are down to your last out. But, how nice is it to have a player like JJ being the one to step up to the plate with the game kind of in her hands? And you talked about not being selfish. Your team wasn't selfish at all with their at-bats. And having a player like that coming up, how nice was it to see her come through and get that base hit for the team?
Well, it's kind of interesting in that they've kind of got me wrapped up in this just relax and play the game type thing because, you say it was a seventh inning, it was two outs, and I'm staying there at third base, and I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about who's going to get the hit. And, two people came up and got out. I don't know what they did. I still wasn't thinking about it. I was just thinking about, all right, next person. And it just happened to be JJ who, pitched a heck of a ball game, especially after that first inning. I think she gave up one hit. And then she comes up with bases loaded and laces one, I think, to right center. And, we score the runs. And yeah, it was kind of nice.
You come back home this week and you play UNC Wilmington, a team that struggled. But, with this league, and you've talked about it a lot, is not to get wrapped up in a team's record, win-loss, and what they've been doing. Because it's any given day with
right.
a sport like softball. And but talk about preparing for a team like UNCW with a coach who has familiarity with this program.
Yeah, like you said, it's conference. And, UNCW is battling tough. The wins and losses don't show for them, but they're playing much better, and it's conference. So all those things go into it. Our thing is we talk about it all the time. Is let's not play our opponent. Let's play the game. Let's play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Let's not worry about who our opponent is. We'll prepare you for your opponent, but let's play the game the way it's supposed to be played and play it hard, play it tough. And, we just need to continue to do that.
Taking a look back at last week, obviously only two games, so the statistics aren't really wild, by any means on a national realm with what other people are doing. But talk about a player like Morgan Toll and Tolly Moore and what they did in the 8-9 spots for your team. Yeah,
the top of our lineup struggled a little bit for both of those games, until the end. But throughout the day, our 8 and 9 really did a nice job. And when they do that, I think it helps everyone to relax. Anytime you got a couple of players that, especially back to back, because now you're always threatening because you're getting runners on base, and when they're doing it back to back, it kind of relaxes people. Whether it's at the top of the lineup, middle of the lineup, bottom of the lineup. But anytime you're putting runners on base and they're back-to-back like that, I think it helps the team relax a little bit, and they feel like they're going to break through. And both games were like that. And, both games they have to be the ones on the base or to get the big hit. And I think even after the game, I said, who was that led us off with that? And they said, Morgan. I said, nice job. And then the next game, I was like, man, who led us off with that? And they said, Tolly. I said, nice job. So, everybody talks about the numbers and the statistics and all that stuff, and the kids don't get wrapped up in it. And if they're not wrapped up into the numbers game, as a coaching staff, you're winning.
Defensively, it was probably the windiest conditions you guys have played in. It was wild. The balls were flying all over the place. Your team doesn't commit one error in either game. What does that say about the composure, the patience that your team has to have playing in gusts of upwards of 45, 50 miles an hour?
Yeah, it was an interesting day for especially the outfielders. And I thought we did a nice job of having each other's backs on balls that were actually hit in the air. We'd start out one player making the call, and then all of a sudden they'd realize that the wind's taking it. And we talked about that a great deal the day before, even 2 days before, and the day before, and then the day of. And they just did a nice job. They were really focused in on supporting each other and doing their job.
What are you guys continuing to work on? I know you always want to get better. What are some of the things you guys are trying to hone in on right now?
Well, I think always you're trying to be more refined. One area is recognizing the strike zone. Sometimes that changes depending on the umpire, so we have to recognize that, not only on offense but also our pitchers. That's just the way this game is played. And then we want to make sure that we're making routine plays, and we're not. We always talk about it. Don't try to be a superhero or superhuman. Let's make the play, and then let's move on to the next play. But let's not try to make 2 or 3 plays in one. It's just one play at a time, and don't get frustrated. We're going to make mistakes. If we do, it's on to the next play. And that's one of the areas that I think we've grown in, is we're able to move on to the next pitch. But I think just recognizing the strike zone and being ready to hit your pitch early in the count, early in the game, and not letting pitches go by that we should be attacking.
Well, Coach, we do appreciate the time this week. You can catch the JMU Softball Coaches Show every week right here on JMUsports.com. Come on out to Veterans Memorial Park this weekend. Saturday, beginning at 3 p.m., a doubleheader against UNCW, and then the series finale Sunday at 1 o'clock. Both those games will be provided on Matazone with video Saturday and audio Sunday. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.